in that regard as well. So we certainly appreciate the firefighters, rescue workers involved in rescuing people, but don't make them have to put themselves in danger if you don't need to be driving. We have Martina now. Where are you at and what are you seeing?
All right, guys, I'm here on Memorial in between 15th and 21st. This road is closed. Why? Let me show you guys. Take a look at all this water down here. This is like a river going on. My hand isn't even touching the bottom here. And across the street, we have even more water. This is becoming, that parking lot back there is like a lake. I heard you talking about this, James, saying that this water has nowhere to go, and where it's going is it's accumulating on the roads here. Cops, the Tulsa PD, have this road closed off. There's one car with their hazards on right there, obviously not moving anywhere. A lot of people, oddly enough, are walking around because I think they parked their car and don't really have much to go. See those cars turning on a Memorial straight down there? All that water is coming up. Just in our drive, our station is a few blocks away. Our drive here, it was so bad. You could barely see the road. So we will continue to stay out here. We are safe. We are parked. We are not going anywhere anytime soon. So reporting live from East Tulsa, Martina Del Monte, Fox 23 News.
Okay, thank you very much, Martina, and stay safe. Again, this is a serious flood situation evolving over the city of Tulsa right now. Numerous reports of flooding, and so we're looking at just 1 hour rainfall amounts, and I'm going to take a look at that. This is radar generated 1 hour rainfall amount. So when you get from the red is about 1.5 inches, you get into the purple, 2 to 2.5 inches of rain. You can see the heaviest rain has fallen now over South Tulsa and far East Tulsa. This is just in the last hour. Of course, this system has been over the Tulsa area for longer than an hour, but here's one pocket on 71st Street close to Yale of the heaviest rain, 2 to 3 inches here. Another pocket far East Tulsa, east of 145th East Avenue, all the way over toward the Lynn Lane community. That's just to the east of East Central High School. You can see, and just south of I-44. We've had another pocket here close to the terminal Doppler radar. This is a view from Catoosa on the left side of your screen, and the very heavy rain continues to fall there. I'm going to take a little closer look here. And again, this heavy rain from 61st and Yale down toward KRMG, Arrowhead Elementary School, all the way back to the west to, about Garnett Road, 129th East Avenue. Anywhere where you're seeing this red, that is a tremendous rainfall total. And as we expand the view and look at the storm total rain, that changes the scale just a little bit. But 2 to 3 inches of rain in the red area since the counter had been reset by the radar operator. And there's one pocket just southeast of Glenpool where we had heavy rain. You can also see scattered from downtown Tulsa. And the little icons here, these are reports of street flooding as well. And wow, just the last hour at Tulsa International Airport, we're up very close to 1.5 inches of rain. Now, it's just past 10 o'clock, our flash flood warnings. I'm going to run down all those flash flood warnings for you right now because there are a slew of them. If it's raining where you are, you can consider yourself under a flash flood warning, basically. Wagner County until 3:30, Coweta, Porter, Wagner, Catoosa area in Rogers County also under a flash flood warning until 3:30. That's in Nowata County too. Okmulgee and Tulsa until 2:30. Creek and Okfuskee County until 2:30 as well. Check in with Ben Walnick. Our whole severe weather team is here as we track this flood developing over the city of Tulsa, and it's not good outside.
Yeah, we're just getting information in, and this is the news that we don't want to hear because you need to be staying inside. We're getting our first water rescues in the Broken Arrow area, and that's where we've seen potentially 1 inch to 2 inches of rain just in the last hour, becoming a dangerous situation. I was just reading off a few minutes ago, 1 to 2 feet of water over roadways in Bixby, and that's the same kind of rain that we're seeing in the Broken Arrow area as well. I was just trying to total up some of the numbers so far that we've seen in Tulsa just in the last 3 hours, about 2 inches of rain, most of that falling just in the last hour, with rain still falling at Tulsa International Airport. If you've been following along with us on social media here for the past few months, one of the stats we've been talking about is it's been over 950 days since Tulsa has seen 2 inches of rain in one day. Well, that streak is broken. We've now seen more than 2 inches of rain today, and we are climbing up the list, 951 days to be exact. We are climbing up the list as far far as the wettest months of all time and the wettest Mays of all time. We'll get some of those numbers for you a little bit later once the threat seems to die down a bit. The video you're seeing right now is from the Broken Arrow area where we are seeing some of that flooding. The rain still coming down. You can see from the lightning there. That's actually roadway, it looks like, and that's water flowing on the roadways. You can actually barely see the top of the curb there in the video. Luckily, we're not seeing any cars on that road at this time, so that is some good news. And I'm zoomed in right now to the Tulsa Metro. And you can see, especially eastern parts of the metro right now, this rain just lined up and not moving much. A little bit of that west to east progression across the Tulsa Metro, which is some good news that the heaviest rain at least is starting to shift a little bit. But still at least seeing light to moderate rainfall, continuing to keep that flooding threat around. And it's likely we see more waves of heavy rain as we head through the overnight hours. So dangerous situation, and we're not done with it yet. We still have a tornado warning in effect also in Haskell and Muskogee counties. The reason we haven't talked about that much in the last few minutes is looking at it on radar, not seeing the intense rotation we were seeing earlier with the storm that started all the way in Latimer County when we likely saw a tornado in eastern parts of Latimer County, but a fairly weak rotation crossing I-40 right now between Vian and Gore. We'll continue watching that, but the main concern is this flash flooding that we're seeing across the entire, not only the metro, but all of Green Country. And this is a situation you need to stay indoors. Wherever you are right now, you don't need to be out on the roadways. Our crews that are out in the field are staying put where they are, not out on the roads anymore. We have a new video in, and I believe we have Ashley Lincoln on camera. We can actually talk to her as she's in North Tulsa right now. Ashley, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, well, right now we are at North Fulton and Pine Street. Right now, this is a big area. We pulled over here. A lot of cars have been trying to truck their way through. As you can see, some cars are coming through right now. When we were coming through here, one car actually stalled out for a second, and it was smoking because it got stuck in the water. But a lot of cars have been making their way through. Police have also been in this area monitoring what's going on. As our meteorologists have been telling people, don't drive in these big puddles of water because it is very dangerous. A lot of cars are slowing down in this area. On our way here, we were going down Memorial Drive, and there are a lot of puddles just like this that are flooding the streets. A lot of people been having to push their cars off to the side of the roadways to get out of the flooding water. As you can see, that truck just made a left trying to get out of the water, and this car just went for it, flying through. We've seen a number of cars kind of just floor it and go through the water right here. Very dangerous conditions, especially at night, because you can't really tell how deep these waters are when you approach one of these flooded, puddled areas. But we're going to stay out here and try to monitor and see what's going on. So far, the cars that were stuck in this area, they were able to get out safely and go on to their destination. But if you do come across a street that looks like this, just pull over and try not to drive through it. But we're going to stay out here for a little bit to monitor the conditions on Pine Street.
All right, thanks, Ashley. Great information from North Tulsa, and the best advice: don't go outdoors. Don't go into roads like that. Great information from her in a safe place watching those cars. You don't want to be one of those cars that gets stuck in the rain. Lots of areas across the Tulsa Metro that are prone to flooding are flooding at this time because of how much rain we're seeing. I do want to show one graphic, the latest run of our high-resolution forecast model. I'm going to go ahead and load that up on the screen for you and take you through what our latest run of our forecast model shows for rainfall. So you can see the latest run of this actually has cleared out the rain too quickly, but you can see the rain still sticking around and even redeveloping over the Tulsa Metro through the overnight hours. Here we are at 2 a.m. with another line of very heavy rain all up and down Highway 75 and continuing to track through our area all the way through 5 a.m. and here we are at 9 o'clock in the morning with more heavy rain. Dangerous situation. We haven't seen a flash flooding event like this in a long time in the Tulsa Metro. 31-year anniversary coming up of the Memorial Day flooding we saw in 1984. This may not be quite rivaling that, but a very dangerous situation there. And we're still seeing, this is video from North Tulsa again, these cars trying to drive through these intersections and just hitting that wall of water. You don't want to be in the situation these cars are. A lot of these higher clearance cars are making it. Yeah, we can go and take Fox23 tower cam, and I believe we have a view of Memorial Drive where we are seeing cars, and we're even seeing some, it looks like possibly even some emergency lights out there.
Yeah, in the foreground, that's the BA. Sometimes in this shot looking down Memorial, we'll zoom out a little bit, and in the foreground is I-44. That's actually going south of the BA.
Yeah, and so we continue to see that potential. What you're seeing on the map right there is the rainfall we've seen in the last hour, according to radar, and some of those numbers up there over 2 inches of rain. So the forecast model I just showed you just reiterates how bad this flooding situation potentially is going to get. We've just been seeing the heavy rain now for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and we potentially could be seeing waves of it here for the next 12 hours. So we've seen close to 3 inches of rain in Tulsa already so far today, and we could add double that, if not even a little bit more. So what we're seeing on the roadways right now, it's not going to get any better, and that's why our best advice to you is to stay inside wherever you are right now. Now, we continue our team coverage. We've got reporters out in the field tracking the rain. Fox 23's Brittany Jeffers is here. Let's toss things over, though, to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot, tracking what warnings we have right now in effect.
Okay, as we make that rundown, you can see a lot of green on the map. Flash flood warnings in effect, including all of the metro area. One severe thunderstorm warning, that's in effect for 19 more minutes as this line of thunderstorms continues to push toward Pryor and Highway 69. One tornado warning, that remains in effect for 4 more minutes in western Sequoia County for a much weaker circulation close to Vian. Let's take a look as we add the radar data. We still have very heavy rain falling over big parts of the city of Tulsa right now. You can see on the left side of your screen some of the street flooding that's occurred in the city of Tulsa. A lot of standing water, a lot of high water rescues underway right now, a lot of roads closed too. My best advice to you on this Saturday night is stay where you are, at least until some of this water starts to recede. But unfortunately, it looks like more rain starting to roll up our way. As we get into this yellow, orange, and red, these heavier rain totals will start to swing up toward the metro area right now. As long as we stay toward the yellow and orange, that, of course, won't improve things much, but hopefully it won't make things much worse. We've got a lot of runoff to work through the drainage system in the city, not just the gutters and the street level drainage, but then it gets into some of the small creeks, the larger creeks like Mingo Creek, Joe Creek, Fred Creek, and that's something that we're going to watch very carefully. Now, there's actually an example of somebody doing it the right way, backing up, not driving in to that floodwater flowing over the road. So doing it just the right way. Our severe thunderstorm warning just about set to expire. That's actually going to be for about 15, 16, 17 more minutes here. And the tornado warning southeast of town in parts of western Sequoia County, Vian, Dwight Mission Road up toward McKee and the Black Gum area. That also will expire here in about 2.5 minutes. And rainfall reports on average about 2 inches per hour out at the Rolling Hills subdivision. That's out just south of Catoosa, far eastern Tulsa, Admiral, and about 193rd, and points just to the east. A lot of street flooding in that area reported to us as well. As we look into parts of, again, western Sequoia County, rotation here is much, much weaker. Let's go back to the news desk. Fox 23's Brittany Jeffers is standing by, and you've got more, Britt.
Yes, I do. We've been staying in contact with Sergeant Thomas Cooper with the Broken Arrow Police Department, working hand in hand with emergency management tonight. I spoke with him earlier today. He says that they were keeping an eye on low-lying areas across the city. Sergeant Cooper, can you hear me? Sergeant? And we can't hear him right now, but I was told, we've been checking in with him throughout the evening, that they are getting inundated right now with calls to the dispatch center. As I mentioned, they are monitoring those low-lying areas right now for flooding in the area. We're going to continue to try to check in with him to see what they are seeing in the area of Broken Arrow right now. But let's go ahead and check back in with Ben Walnick to see what it is that they're monitoring right now.
Well, we're continuing to see the heavy rain, and that is the main story as we head through the overnight hours. We're going to continue to see the rain stacking up across green country. I was just compiling some of the numbers and was going to try to get you some of the information there. So far in Tulsa, 2.42 inches officially at the Tulsa International Airport, but some areas across the metro have seen much more than that. In fact, as I load up some of the rainfall totals that we've seen since midnight, we've seen some areas in green country upwards of 2.5 inches of rain and even 3 3.5 inches near Bristow. Latest number there at 3.42 inches of rain, just over 2.5 in Okemah. A lot of our mesonet sites are actually down at this time from the heavy winds and the rain that we're seeing across the area. But most areas along and west of Highway 75 have seen upwards of 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain already. And it's only been raining here for 2.5 to 3 hours. So that's the main concern here. Let's switch things over, do a little bit of a reset. We do have a tornado watch in effect across Green Country until 4 a.m. that has been trimmed back a little bit. A few counties out of that, including Osage County, Pawnee County, Washington County, and Creek County. Those are out of the watch. The rest of the area in that tornado watch until 4 o'clock this morning. The main concern, though, although we still could see a brief spin up, the main concern will be the flooding as we head through the overnight hours. That's why we've got our reporters out there checking on the rain, not driving, which is what we want you to do, not drive tonight. Let's check in with one of our reporters I know well, my co-anchor in the mornings on Fox 23 News this morning. Let's check in with Tiffany Alaniz right now in Broken Arrow. Tiffany?
Fox 23's Tiffany Alaniz near 51st and Lynn Lane in Broken Arrow, and I want to show you some of the water that's coming up here along the curb. You can see it just pouring into the drain. It's hard to tell, but it's racing around this curve here. I'm walking around in my rain boots, and they are completely underwater as I go in, but you can see the force of the water as it's coming into the drain right now. Heavy rain falling in Broken Arrow, and of course we're not seeing anyone out on the roads here in Broken Arrow, but the heavy rainfall continues to fall, leading to major flash flooding in the streets of Broken Arrow. Reporting in Broken Arrow, I'm Tiffany Alaniz, Fox 23 News.
And you can see the water rushing into that drainage. That's why we've been doing the stories in the past week about making sure that the drainage around your home is clear, and the city crews out there making sure that drainage areas are clear, those drains are clear, because if it was covered up, would be flooding immediately right now. We're seeing video right now, North Tulsa, I believe. This is from Ashley. This is live, and you're seeing cars just trying to drive through that water and not doing what we tell you to do as far as turn around, don't drown. Looks like the water there maybe just down a little bit in the last few minutes. That's perhaps some good news, but the flooding concern's still there as there's lots of rain on radar. There's a tow truck helping a car out of the water there. This is in North Tulsa, I believe, near Pine, and we're getting lots of reports. I'm hearing from Brittany from police officers in the Broken Arrow area reporting that we are seeing water rescues happening there. That's where we're still seeing some of that heaviest rain at this time. And we are seeing plenty of reports of up to 2 inches of rainfall falling per hour. And when you get to those kind of rainfall rates, that's when we have the dangerous flooding that we are seeing. I'll pop up the radar behind me for the Tulsa Metro. Let's go ahead and take weather for full really quick, just a little bit of a recap of exactly where we are as far as the rainfall that we're seeing. And heavy rain still falling in Broken Arrow. As we zoom things all the way into Broken Arrow, that's where we are seeing heavy rain right now from Broken Arrow High School, New Tulsa towards Coweta, Indian Springs Country Club. That's where the heaviest rain is. Starting to lighten up just a tad towards Midtown, downtown, and North Tulsa, but still these storms are very efficient at making rain. So even when you're seeing the yellows rather than the reds, likely still seeing 1/4 of an inch to 1/3 of an inch of rain per hour falling there. And that's just going to add to our rainfall totals and add to the flooding concerns. We have the flash flood warning right now, not only for Tulsa County, but for most of Green Country at this time. And we continue to get the reports in of this last report in from one of the spotters out in the field, 2 miles east-northeast of Broken Arrow, 1 to 1.5 feet of water running across 71st Street at this time in northeast Broken Arrow. So dangerous situation. You're seeing some of the video we've got there of cars driving through the water, which we wouldn't recommend. We'd recommend you staying home tonight. You never know when you're going to run into water that's too high to cross and could sweep your car off the road. And unfortunately, we've got some cars out there that have run into that problem. Now up over 3.5 inches in Bristow in Creek County. That's the highest rainfall amount we've got so far. And we've also had some wind gusts, it looks like, close to over 50 miles per hour in the Broken Arrow and Bixby area. So very strong storms, the leading edge of these storms, and then the heavy rain potential. If zoom things out, I'm going to zoom things out real quick before I toss things over for our team coverage and take a wider look at the rain that we're seeing here. Taking off the warnings too, and let's loop this over the last hour, and you can just see the incredible amount of rain in the state right now from our area along I-44, just south of I-44, and further to the north. this rain not moving very quickly, and it's going to cause some flooding issues throughout the overnight hours and into Sunday morning for this Memorial Day weekend. And we're seeing lots of flooding reports out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist James Adelot, talking about just the amount of rain that we're seeing is really pretty incredible, especially for we haven't seen an event like this in several years, James.
No, not at all. And of course, this is on the 31st anniversary of that catastrophic Memorial Day flood in 1984. Certainly, it's nothing like that, thankfully, but the city, of course, took just great steps in helping mitigate the flood danger after that catastrophic flood in 1984. Now, us old-timers remember that quite well, especially growing up here with the flooding in 76, the flooding in 84, both on Memorial Day weekend. We're having flooding underway right now. You can see cars driving through that water, not quite up to the bumper here, but we have one severe thunderstorm warning left. That is expires at 10:30, so in about 10 more minutes. But look at the flash flood warnings that are in effect, not only for the city of Tulsa, but most of the metro area. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning just issued for Craig and Nowata and Rogers County right now for the northern edge of this storm complex as that moves up into Craig County. We'll be tracking that system very, very closely too. As we look at the railroad interchange there down on the left side of your screen, the crossing gates are down. So as we look back into this storm just to the west of Nowata, this one could have some strong wind, and we'll track it over about the next 30 minutes as that moves up to the northeast. It's going to be mostly just to the west of Veneta, but moving up toward Highway 10, Childers and Nowata County, Centralia, Estella, and toward Hollow. We'll watch it closely for you in Veneta and in Big Cabin, but it looks like the main push of the strongest winds may pass just to your west. Now, this is a look at the radar rainfall estimate. Look at this stripe of very heavy rain east Tulsa through Broken Arrow, through Bixby, all the way down into northern Okmulgee County. As we look on the left side of your screen, this is more video from Bixby. Meanwhile, I'm looking at some of the rainfall totals here. When you get into the purple, we're talking 2 to 3 inches of rain. And so this has been major flooding. New flooding reported close to 49th and 72nd West Avenue. Bixby Mesonet picked up close to 3 inches in the last hour. So we've been talking about how they look like heavy storms on Fox23 Doppler radar. They certainly were heavy storms, but they have been very good at making big amounts of rain. They've had smaller raindrops. You may have noticed that. So they don't show up as brightly on radar, but they certainly show up in the rain gauge. A lot of small drops is a lot more water than a few large drops of rain. So while it may be fooling the radar a bit, and we may see these precip estimates on radar actually have to be raised just a bit too, especially compared to what we're seeing in the rain gauges. Now, we still have more rain lifting up through Okmulgee and southern Tulsa County. I'm going to put this into motion just so we can see what is coming our way. This is over about the last hour, and again, we're seeing some of this heavy rain continuing to move right on up over the metro area right now. It's backed up into southern parts of Creek County, across Okmulgee County, lifting into Tulsa County right now. The flash flood warning is in effect at least until 2:30. This may end up being extended. The severe weather threat and tornado threat much, much lower. Not zero, but it's very, very low. The flash flood threat will be the main issue that we'll be concerned with over the next few hours. Let's check in with Martina Del Bonta. Martina, where are you at, and tell me what you're looking at.
James, we're still on 15th and Memorial, just on the other side, but let me show you. Cars are getting stuck. There was a tow truck that's going to come out here to come get that car that's still stuck here. Over to our right, you can see this road here is completely flooded, and there is TPD right there who has parked it off to try to close this off. The tow truck is about right at the light, which is 15th and Memorial, trying to get access to those two cars over on my right. Right here, we have two vehicles trying to get out of this apartment complex. Obviously, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. This Mustang back here, the guy just left that car because this is obviously not going anywhere anytime soon. But take a look down east towards Memorial. See the backup traffic? This is becoming a problem because people have nowhere to go. They can't back up because there's a car right behind them. So they are coming up on this median here, making U-turns whichever way they can. As you can see, that car is even going the wrong way on the road over there, right by that Brelo automotive, excuse me. And so we have cars basically being just chaos right now. There's no guidance for people that are getting stuck in the roads here. They're abandoning their vehicles. This car right behind you, he's trying to forge what looks like now a river. Look at the ripples that are coming off of this car. The water is so deep, you guys. It has nowhere to go. It is not smart to be driving on the roads right now. We are not driving on the roads. We are safely parked. And look, people who are driving on the roads are going the wrong way, trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. This is how bad it is right here on Memorial. So, best rule of advice, if you are at home, stay at home tonight. Reporting live from East Tulsa, Martina Del Monte, Fox 23 News.
And we're still tracking this rain over the city of Tulsa. It looks like perhaps the heaviest rain may be shifting out of the metro area right now. We still have a lot of moderate rain and occasionally heavy rain backed up over the city all the way back into parts of Creek County and Okmulgee County too. Let's take a look at some pictures from Glenpool and the flooding and just the flowing water right now. And as we continue to track some of these flooding reports, new flash flood warning just issued for Craig and Mays County until 4:30. Is James on the phone? Okay, this is from Storm Tracker James Rogers in Glenpool. Again, just lots of flowing water. Just don't drive into it, folks. Stay where you are right now until this water can recede just a bit. So again, just lots of street flooding. And look how close it is to the bottom of this bridge. I believe that's 141st Street, just east of US Highway 75 on the west side of Glenpool as it moves in. This is 51st and Memorial you're seeing on the left side of your screen, barricaded by Tulsa police right now. We've had a lot of stalled cars. People just continue to drive into these flooded roads. Don't do that. Let's check in. Meteorologist John Boyer is also standing by. And John, this isn't just a Tulsa Metro deal. We've had these flooding reports stacked up all the way back into central Oklahoma. And in a way, that's moving our way. It's what we can see.
Yeah, this is something we saw coming and we'll continue to see coming because we are still in the early stages of this. We're looking at the entire state of Oklahoma here, and you may be familiar where sometimes we'll plot on with the red triangles. Those are our tornado reports. They had some from central Oklahoma earlier today. We had some tornado warnings. So far, have not seen a confirmation related to the damage, but there are some scattered, isolated reports of some strong winds and wind damage. But what's overwhelmingly visible on this map are these little turquoise diamonds there, and that's the symbol we use to plot reports of flash flooding. And you can see how numerous this is, and stretching from southwest Oklahoma near Lawton, in fact, northwest Texas, all the way through the Oklahoma City metro area. And that's just what's moving our way. We can go now to Fox 23's Tiffany Alaniz in Broken Arrow. What do you have?
I'm Fox 23's Tiffany Alaniz in Broken Arrow near 51st and Lynn Lane, and I want to show you what's happening here. This water is just pouring off the sidewalk. You can see it just coming down and creating a completely flash flooding situation here along the streets of Broken Arrow, where we have heard reports of numerous car rescues, and here comes the car trying to navigate this high water right now near 51st and Lynn Lane. You can see just how hard. That's an SUV, and it's going all the way under the SUV, and of course the gutters and the drains, of course, struggling to keep up this evening because this flash flooding that we've been seeing in Broken Arrow. So best advice tonight, Broken Arrow police urging people to stay off the roads unless you absolutely have to get out. Reporting in Broken Arrow, I'm Tiffany Alaniz, Fox 23 News.
All right, thank you, Tiffany. Here we are at 10:27. Let's reset some. You're watching Fox 23 live severe weather team coverage for a very serious flash flooding threat. Flash flood watch, just the potential window for flash flooding, extends all the way until 7 a.m. on Monday. A number of flash flood warnings that go for the next several hours through much of the night all across green country, and a tornado watch that goes until 4 in the morning. But when you think about the amount of our area threatened by tornadoes compared to the amount threatened by flash flooding is really the biggest, most widespread and longest lasting risk we're going to have to deal with tonight and even into parts of tomorrow morning. So in the green here, these are our flash flood warnings that now go all the way east to Mays County, and soon will likely include some more parts of eastern Oklahoma through Metro Tulsa back towards Oklahoma City. Those are our flash flood warnings. In the yellow, those are some severe thunderstorm warnings we have with gusty winds rolling through Wagner County right now, Rogers County, and that'll be moving into places like Pryor. And as I feared, repeat that one more time for me. This is the Creek Turnpike, and I'm not sure if this is the same location where we'd had some reports, but at least then indeed, this is a picture from where we had those reports we brought you earlier, where it was not possible to get on the Creek Turnpike from Memorial. And as I feared, these strong winds rolling through saturated and flooded grounds are causing some trees to go down. And also there are some power outages that may or may not be wind related, but certainly weather related. As you watch video from Broken Arrow, I'll send it over to Brittany Jeffers to bring us up to speed on the outage numbers that we're seeing.
Yeah, we are monitoring that right now, taking a look at PSO's website. They're reporting right now in Tulsa County, 798 customers are without power. As John mentioned, though we don't know at this point if that is related to the wind gusts or not. They told us earlier in the evening, I believe it was Ben who reported the 57-mile-per-hour wind gust reported in Bixby. So in addition to the rising water, we are also dealing with that as well, just a culmination of these storms that we're dealing with. But right now, keeping an eye on things, 798 customers currently without